and spinning.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Eventually, we're going to get this right.
One of these days.
You know what? This is the time all three of us were on time, especially me. And it's not me that's the reason that it started screwing up. It's the, you know,
Right.
I blame that. Oh, whatever. It is not.
Okay, it's on Facebook or that. Why is it Facebook going?
Yeah, because you haven't hit go live. Mine
Yeah,
isn't
but
either.
the button is not even lit up. Your video source is required.
We're going to start calling this the mistake show. You know,
Jeez.
Well, one thing I've also noticed is with Beam, it takes
There it
like
is.
10
Yep.
extra seconds for it to
Yeah.
go live.
So yeah, you should hold off on the intro thing until we're actually
we got to figure out like a longer intro.
yeah.
And then end it with that garbage in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some yakety sax or something, and then
Wait,
garbage in, garbage out. You know, so but yeah.
We're going to be the next biggest thing on the internet, but it's going to take us 10 years to get there. It seems like.
It seems that way, yes, but I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. You know, the best things take time. You know, it seems like the things that are just meant to be the biggest thing in the world for a couple of weeks, they are, and then you never hear about them again.
That's
the
right.
Things that last take time.
So I don't know if you saw Adam, but I was streaming today. And I met that verification. Yeah, my once a month, my yearly stream. But and I met the verification for Kick, so now I can get a sub button on there.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, happy days for that. And I might even actually stream again tonight.
Nice.
I know, right?
We already have somebody too.
I'm getting freaking crazy here. Herbert Daring Dashwood.
How's it
What's
going?
going on, Herbert?
Thank you for joining us.
How's it going, Herbert? I don't know. I can't do that whole whistle thing. How he talks on Family Guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Now what you were going for.
Right. Where's the paper boy? Waiting to bring me some good news.
I gotta say, I liked your guys' new your backgrounds. Koimiya, you got like the whole space thing going on. Brian or Neodeath, you got the whole Lego thing going on.
Mine's basically just the banner that I use on my Twitch, and like all of my, it was part of one of the things that I got from, I don't know if it was like Stream Elements or you know, one of those package deals where you get the banners for when you're offline and all that shit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just had a good friend of mine go in there and Photoshop the Koimiya X, and she's actually the same one who did the logo on my hat.
Nice.
So, and like my actual profile picture with the controller, and because my whole logo it was too small to print on the hat, but underneath it says Dad by day, gamer by night, sometimes streamer.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's what my profile picture is if you go to like my Twitch or my Kick or my Twitter and all that. And but yeah, she did that, and so
well, mine I just took that the whole action figure thing that's going on right now. Turn yourself into an action figure with ChatGPT. I did that, and then I'm like, well, let's take it a step further. Let's turn me into a Lego set where I'm streaming.
Only after I made fun of you?
And I'm on Twitch. And I'm wearing a shirt with my face on it, apparently.
Hey, I mean, I'm wearing my hat. I actually have a hoodie as well with my logo and stuff on it. You could I have it taken down right now, but I actually do have a merchandise page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Rachel was actually talking about it, saying like we should get our own like fourth wall page and like just come up with like some shirt and hat and stuff.
That's what mine is.
Yeah.
I had kids shirts as well, and I had a baby onesie because one of my friends wanted to buy one for her baby. And then you know, the hats, and I have stickers, and I got to go in there and modify everything because right now you can kind of see it on this side. Well, no, goddamn cameras and backwards and shit. But right there is a now defunct streaming platform that I was on. It was a
Is that Mixer?
No. That was live. It was Live Space,
Okay.
and like I have a Live Space T-shirt too, and you could they had no problem with you using their logo, on
You add
products that you were selling and stuff. But so like my hoodie and my hats and all that, I have to go in there and re-update the merchandise to take that logo off. Because I'm actually I've dubbed myself the destroyer of platforms, because it seems like every time I find a streaming platform that I actually like, it goes under. And so it's like I was on Mixer and that went. I was on Glimish and that went. I was on Live Space and that went. So it's like,
half of
at
those. I
what
haven't
point?
even
Get
heard
the
of.
hell off of Twitch.
Exactly.
You're gonna
Exactly.
screw it
Well,
up.
now I'm on Twitch, I'm on Kick, I'm on YouTube, so I hope you guys aren't comfortable, because they're all going to be fucking going under since I'm on there now. And so SharePlay, look out, because you're next. and yeah. So
How do you share a screen? Does it just share screen, or do you want to do an image so I can show the figure?
So you hit present, and then hit share screen,
Right.
and then for select window, it should give you the option of which one you want to do, which is right now I have to do it as StreamYard, Zydio, Mozilla Firefox. I don't know which one you guys are using, but that's what I click, and then it pops up, and then real quick I have to like switch it down here, which is why you get that little Inception-y kind of look for a second. Because I'm trying to figure out how to get it to just seamlessly transition in. It used to do that, but then that's when I was using Google Chrome. But every time I use Google Chrome, it would pop up saying my PC couldn't handle it, even though the PC was handling it fine. But I found out actually through Google that was a glitch.
I mean, if you have it as just an image file, you could do share.
That's why I didn't know if that was going to mess up the background or what.
No, It's just down there at the bottom, and then you can click on add to state. You just had it, and then you just click on add to state.
Well, no, that was a window, but I wanted to see if I could just do a picture. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, just do it as like if I was to do this.
At the stage. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. There's me as an action figure.
So
got the magic cards, got the PS5 controller, Twitch, TikTok. I said death, so it put a skull and whatever this is supposed to be, and then coffee, and then streamer. Those are my descriptive words.
Very nice.
That's pretty awesome.
Very nice.
I had to join the crowd.
All the cool kids are doing it,
right? And I'm gonna put it out tomorrow as my my thing to go live with. And then
so the reason we are actually streaming a little bit earlier today is because Koimiya has to do the dad thing later today and take his kids to the Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
And I was kind of joking with you before the show, but I'll say it here so anybody watching now can hear it. I have simultaneously heard that is a great movie, and I have heard it is a horrible movie. So, I mean, you're going to have to come back and tell us, because I don't know if I have any desire to see it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
How excited are you?
You know how I feel about Minecraft. Like, basically, when my kids are talking about it, I don't know if you guys ever watched Scrubs, but, you know, that scene in Scrubs when Carla and Elliot would start talking about shoes, and JD and Turk would just be like, shoe shopping, and then, you know, pass out. That's how I feel when my kids start talking about Minecraft. It gets to the point that they'll be rattling on about something, and my wife and I will just look at each other and go, Minecraft, 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 Minecraft. And then it pisses the kids off to no end. But, so, you know, there's that aspect. Then you guys know my absolute love for Jack Black. And so there's that aspect. But speaking of that, I don't know if you guys had seen the news. I'm pretty sure I shared the link and all that. But Jack Black wasn't the first pick to be Steve in this movie. It was originally going to be Matt Berry, which I don't know if you, Cyclops, if you've watched What We Do in the Shadows, but he plays Laszlo in What We Do in the Shadows. And I fucking love Matt Berry. And if it had been Matt Berry, that I guarantee that would have got my ass in the seat in day one. But I did find out he still does a voice of one of the characters in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But to go from Steve to a voice, and it was because of scheduling conflicts and the writers' strike and all that he couldn't do it. But I am very disappointed that he is no longer Steve, because like I said, I would have been like, okay, opening night, let's fucking go. If it was Matt
I
Berry.
think that would have changed it. Like I would have probably maybe wanted to see it. Like even though I don't care about Minecraft, but yeah.
But on the other hand, though, too, if it was him, how many people would go, "Who the fuck is Matt Berry?"
I mean, they would go, "Who the hell?" But I mean, isn't Jason Momoa in that too?
Yeah. So
like,
I mean, you could use
why
his
is he in there? Like, how is that Minecraft? What?
Yeah, well,
like you're just packing names in to get people.
Yeah, I think that was just supposed to be more shock casting. You know, put a AAA star in there that is going to bring the adults in there.
And that's the thing too, is I could see where they would use him then as the big name if it was Matt Berry, because people wouldn't be like, "Who the hell?" Or people would be like, "Well, we don't know who that is," but hey, Jason, So.
But now it just seems like, oh, Jack Black, he's the video game movie guy because he's done 3 in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
I think the best article that I read about it was the headline that said, Minecraft the movie. It was like colon, a bad movie made worse by Jack Black. And I just chuckled at that whole concept because it's Jack Black, and being Jack Black for an hour or two.
Who's the female in it too? Isn't there?
I have no idea.
I
know Jennifer Coolidge has a role in it. So,
yeah, she's the one that goes on the date with what's his name.
Jack Black's good when you get him in the right role, but when you just throw him in there to throw him in there, then it's like,
I mean, he's kind of like Robin Williams used to be, right? He's like all amped up usually, and yes, does a lot of ad-libs.
Robin Williams
like,
was actually
be
funny.
Good, and he could. I mean, he can be good, and he can also be bad. There have been times when Robin Williams wasn't the greatest.
I loved Jack Black when it was just Tenacious D. When he was just the band, and small roles on comedy sketch, like he was great on the what was the Mr. Show with Bob and Tom, and or Bob and Dave or whatever, but I don't remember. Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, and Tenacious. That's pretty much where Tenacious D got their start. Was they were a band, that would perform every now and then on there, and I loved him then, and then he just blew up, and I was like, but again, I love his roles where he's outside of the box, like Neodeath was saying, like Bernie, great fucking movie, his small role in Cable Guy, I liked that. I just, once an actor gets typecast to the same fucking thing, I lose a lot of, I don't want to say respect, but I lose a lot of interest in that actor.
Yeah,
kind of the same thing with like music, when they're a low key band and you love them, and then all of a sudden they blow the fuck up, and then you're like, because they they change or whatever.
I've got a perfect example for that for me is Linkin Park.
Oh, I thought you were going to say plain white tees.
They've always sucked. But no, Linkin Park. So I heard of the first time I heard Linkin Park was back in the day when MTV at 2 a.m. would do Buzzworthy or something like that. And this Linkin Park video came on, and I'm like, these guys are phenomenal. And there was, at the time, this is when I was still living in Illinois, and the nearest mall was Cherry Valley Mall. And there was a shirt store in that mall called Shirt Bazaar. And it was like Hot Topic before Hot Topic existed. They had all the cutting edge bands and all of that crap, up and coming. And I went in there one day and I said to the guy, I'm like, do you have any Linkin Park t-shirts? And he's like, I have no idea who you're talking about. And I'm like, you're going to want to get some. And then I went back there 6 months later after they fucking blew up, and he's like, you were right, and he's like, and da 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 da. And, so that was a thing where, once they got big.
Mm.
And I mean, another one for
They
me
were
is
phenomenal when they got big, though. I mean, you can't
mean, the
deny their
first couple
cult.
albums, but, yeah.
until every song sounded the exact fucking same, and to the point that you could mix and match. You could take the lyrics from one song and lay it over another song, and it would fit timing and structure and all of that. And another band that did the same thing, where once they got big, they've changed and all that, is AFI. I mean, you go and Neo, you had shared that link about Miss Murder being 19 years old, which in and of
Right.
itself, holy fuck. But you go back and listen to their first album when they were their East Bay hardcore punk, and Jesus, they've changed.
Right.
And now I can't even listen to their new stuff. Like, I'm just like, oh my god. First of all, Davey's voice is shot, which happens as his singer, gets older and all that. Especially the style of. That's why they had one of the reasons why they had to change up their music, is he called it the monster in his neck. He was getting from screaming and yelling and all that in the punk scene so much that he was destroying his vocal cords. And so he had to change it up, and that's why they went more melodic and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Korn was the same way. Did you ever hear their stuff before Freak on a Leash?
Oh yeah, Life is Peachy, and what was their first one? I can't think of their first one. Yeah, but I mean,
don't get me wrong, they were great after Freak on a Leash, but it sounds very different from their
you want to
original
talk
stuff.
about a different change? Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Their old stuff was phenomenal, and then they went all of a sudden like, we're going to Metallica, and
I like their newer stuff because I tried to listen to their old
shit.
stuff, and yeah, they were
new stuff
too
is
heavy
shit
for me.
Like, oh god, they were so good. Their old stuff.
I mean, while you're talking about music, you might as well talk about the new Ghost, right?
That's kind of what makes me respect the Ramones so much, because they don't go to commercial. I mean, they do sometimes, but not a lot.
Here's the thing about Ghost, though. Ghost can use the excuse of, well, it's a new Papa every time, so it's going to be a different style. Having said that, that new song is fucking great. But I mean, if you go back and listen to their older stuff, I mean, my friends used to make fun of me all the time because they would name some band, and my go-to response, even when I was younger, was, their older stuff was better. And
we can say that about almost any band that's 20 years old,
Right?
Yeah. So, what were we talking about again?
And Dark Flame says, "Hey, you're
I don't know. We got
today.
on the music. How's it going, Dark Flame?
Yep.
Yeah, we are early. Because it's my fault. I'm taking my kids to see the Minecraft movie later tonight.
Yeah, blame him.
So,
thanks a lot, Quimia. You have thrown everyone off.
Goddamn family,
No, my kids want to see this movie.
But getting back to the Minecraft movie, it is not me. I do not want it. Don't even lay that on my feet. I will kick it right at you. The getting back to that movie though, have you seen the news all about this chicken jockey meme and the shit that's going crazy? Like, the kids are going crazy and shit. It's almost like a kid's version of, my wife summed it up perfectly, a kid's version of Rocky Horror. Like, they are interacting with the movie, they are throwing popcorn, they are screaming, they are clapping.
Oh,
I was reading, it even got to the point that somebody brought a live chicken into the theater. I'm like, okay, first of all, how the fuck do you sneak a chicken into the theater unless you know people?
Is that a chicken in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
I don't even know. I don't even know if the chicken survived the incident. I'd like to hope that it didn't turn into like an Ozzy Osbourne with the bat type thing, but it's just. And then the director and producer of the movie has gone on record as basically saying, kids will be kids. This is great.
I mean, it's getting them more people in seats, right?
Which, did you know that it's done by the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was directed by the dude who did Napoleon Dynamite, which explains a lot. Because I think, didn't he also do Nacho Libre, which is where he had Jack Black, and so Let me see while we're talking here. I'm going to see if I can find that story about the live chicken.
Yeah, actually
Want to know
took
if
you.
it's lived?
Yeah. You mentioned Rocky Horror. I actually took my wife to Rocky Horror Picture Show when it was in Madison. But of course, we went to like one of those upscale theaters where people like shouted a little bit and there was a few people dancing. But I was like, you know what? We need to go to one that's like just balls to the wall insane when they do that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
kind of a funny story about that though. So I was living in Rochester, Minnesota at the time, and the radio station was giving away tickets for $1 and 1 penny, which kind of went with the 101.1 station. And I got 3 tickets. So I took 2 of my friends and we go there, and I had no idea that they even did this. People were like in the aisles screaming, throwing toilet paper. We get there, everyone's dressed to the nines. We're just sitting there in like t-shirt and jeans, and people are like just screaming out at this and like getting in the aisles and dancing and like throwing the rice and everything. And I was like, are they going to kick these people out? And it was like, I didn't
What's
realize
going
that
on
was
here.
I didn't realize that was part of the show. So we get there, and it was like about 20 minutes into it, I was like, this has got to be part of it. And then there was actually like somebody next to me was some stranger went like, oh, you're new to this, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, yeah,
Yes.
everybody comes dressed like you guys the first time, but don't worry, you'll have fun.
Next
And
time
You're
you'll
a
dress up.
virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The looker just said, hey, how's it going, my dudes? How's it
Hey,
going,
Looker.
looker?
Looker? How you
But yeah, it
doing?
was so funny. I almost felt like that meme with what is that? Pirates of the Caribbean, where they were just kind of looking at me, going like, "First time." It was like, it's like, yes, it was.
Yeah.
It and Looker. I'm actually Dingy and Looker. I are invited onto the show, and Looker said he's going to get back to me. We're going to have them on as guests.
Nice. That'll
Looking
be
forward
awesome.
to it.
Sweet. Hey, all right, I'm posting this link in the because I can't get the share screen thing to work. But here's the link. I
He
posted
just
it in. I'm
He's
posting it
doing
in.
too many things. He's trying to look on the internet and stream, and it didn't work out.
Hey, I didn't say that multitasking was my best thing. So,
All right, I think I can get it here.
Where's the thing I want? Damn it.
Go allow. All right, I got it.
all right, but yeah, there you go. It was in Utah, but
Go figure.
Yeah, they brought a chicken to a Minecraft screening and it went viral. You don't want anyone to get hurt. You don't want anyone's experience to be bad, said Jared Hess, the movie's director. So he's the one that did Napoleon Dynamite.
yeah.
Oh, my wife's leaving for just a little bit. She's actually going to go pick up a new screen.
Ooh.
I don't have one.
Yeah, she's doing some at-home business stuff, so she needs a second screen. But yeah,
Oh, like a
video
monitor?
circuit. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, video circulating on social media show an unusual guest attending a Tuesday night showing of a Minecraft movie in Provo, a live chicken. The movie's director, Utah resident Jared Hess, told the Salt Lake Tribune that the antics in the videos are pretty on point for some farm boy shenanigans. That's how you respond to something like that. And it's,
Right.
it's just farm boy shenanigans.
Right. Okay.
See, if you go down to the next paragraph there, it says, at this particular screening, someone is atop another person's shoulders and pulls out a live chicken, holding it up triumphantly as the snacks fly. The video ends with the theater's house lights coming on. According to the posts, the people who brought the chicken in were kicked out. But yeah, somebody snuck a live fucking chicken into the movie theater.
Wait, is this the video?
That's the video, yeah.
Come on. You can do it.
Again. Yeah, there it is.
And that's like at theaters everywhere is like the throwing of popcorn
It's
and
alive!
shit like that. Yeah. So the chicken lived apparently, but yeah, there. They put it in their jacket.
Okay.
How'd they get it to stay quiet long enough to sneak it in?
There's lots of questions I have for that.
Yeah, it's like it's the damn thing right now though, is like all these TikTokers are, during that chicken jockey scene, is to throw popcorn and scream and holler and act like a fucking moron.
So if you're
And
taking your
so
kids to this, I
Why?
feel bad.
that's the one reason why I'm like, do I really want to go see this movie? Because
What is it about that scene that makes them do that? Just
I
because
don't
of the
even.
chicken?
There's
Like, what
I
is
have
the-
no idea.
What is
It's
the
like
meaning behind it? Me as being who I am and old, I don't get it. Like,
yeah, I don't
I
know
know,
the
there has
whole.
to be a point behind it. I'm sure.
I think
He's the villain. Everybo's booing him. Is that why they're throwing the popcorn?
I
Please
know. I don't
explain it to
remember
us,
what the whole.
folks.
Yeah, Looker, if you know what the hell's going on with this, please let us know. He says next Saturday I can be all in. Yeah, if you know, let us know what this is, because as three guys in their 40s, we're pretty much just the angry guys screaming at the cloud, like, I don't get it, and it's scary.
He says he has not a clue. Good, neither do we.
Yeah, that makes four of us then. So like, I don't know. I just.
Dark Flame, do you know anything about what's going on here? Because we're all confused.
Right.
I mean,
Or
maybe go see
Herbert?
the movie and you can get back to us. And
Well, like I said, I know that the whole meme is that like, I guess chicken jockeys are like rare in the game or some shit. And so the trailer is like that scene where Jack Black's like chicken jockey, and like, so of course all the fucking kids latch onto that because
Right.
even my kids are saying that, and so now it's like the in thing to shout it out that screen during the time when he says that, and throw your popcorn and act like a fool.
So is Chicken Jockey the new
Okay.
Cowabunga?
I have no clue.
Because I remember when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie came out in 1990 or 1991, the minute you heard them yell out Cowabunga, all the kids just erupted in
I mean,
laughter.
didn't they do that in the TV show and the games as well? And
Yeah. But that wasn't so rare. It wasn't a rare achievement. It was literally every episode he said Cowabunga.
Yeah, to see it live action and they say, their catchphrase, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I did like about Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was kind of they held back on the Cowabunga, and they were like kind of towards the end. He was like, what's that thing you used to say? You used to say it all the time. And he was like, Cowabunga, and then ran up. And it's like, okay, that was almost like his trigger word to go berserk, So
Michael Bay explosions.
The Looker says it's a 5% ad or odd, so it's an awesome moment. That's what the chicken thing is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll bet that.
So it's like a rare thing that pops up that you can find.
And it's literally, from my understanding, it's a mob of a chicken with a little zombie riding on it. And that's the chicken jockey. And so, I don't know. I'd like to think that since we're going to a small town theater, that nothing would happen. But at the same time,
hope there's a chicken, a real chicken that shows up.
It was a fucking theater in Utah that had a live chicken. So, I don't know.
So the Looker responded again. It's so rare in game that people would go bananas over it when it would happen.
Which is why it's getting such the response.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that this movie has a lot of nods to like little things that if you were an enthusiast of this game, you would be like, oh my god, it's a thing with the thing, or whatever.
I mean, isn't that any video game movie, though?
Exactly.
You're expecting like a little bit of a nod to
Easter
whatever
eggs,
game it is. Yeah, you're like,
exactly.
or even like Marvel movies. You're like, oh, I know the comics. Let's see what little tidbits they've got hidden in here for us nerds who have kept up on shit.
Yeah.
Same type of
thing. I remember when my wife and I went and first saw the first Avengers movie. And when they had that post-credit scene where they introduced Thanos, like you could hear this pin drop in the theater, and I just really fucking loud. I was like, "Holy shit, it's Thanos!" And it's like you could just see everybody turn and look at me, and I'm like, "Thanos," and nobody knew what I was talking about, but
that kind of happened at the end of what was that? Avengers, not Endgame, but the one before that, Infinity War. Because when at the post-credit scene when you see Fury messaging Captain Marvel, I was like the only one in the theater who knew who Captain Marvel was.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I know it's Brie Larson that's going to play. And so basically he's calling her. And the only reason they're not bringing her in earlier is because basically she's so powerful that she could just fart and Thanos would disappear. So they, you know, and everyone's like sitting there talking, like listening to me. And I'm like, yeah, so she's going to have this power and this power and this power and this power. She's almost overpowered. So that's why she's going to get her own movie. And then they're going to do this. And then they're going to do that. And then like I had a whole bunch of people, like it almost felt like story time with people like clamoring
Come
around
here,
me.
kids. Let me tell you a story.
Gather around, children, as I tell you this story.
And I was like, okay, well, yeah, the original, you know, Captain Marvel was a guy, but they're going this route, which actually follows this comic, which follows this comic, you know. And I was like, I'm sitting there like explaining it to everybody, and my wife's just sitting there kind of like looking around, like almost like she's embarrassed because people are standing around, and I'm getting excited because people are standing around.
Right.
Take a bow. Take a bow.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, you know, I'm surprised, Connor, you didn't do this one.
That's whatever you were talking about for you.
Yeah. You know what clip we also needed? I just realized today. And it's gone.
Yep.
From South Park. So.
Yeah,
anyway.
I kind of feel like we should do that with TikTok because that might be gone now.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
And I just got on there.
So Brian,
oh, my fault.
Brian is the destroyer. Neodeath, you are the destroyer of apps, and Koimiya, you're the destroyer of streaming services. Apparently,
There, Cyclops. What do you think you destroy?
The toilet after Taco Bell. Oh. Okay,
I won't be reading that story.
Yeah, well, there's like a million ways that you can pull this up. This was pulled up, and then all of a sudden it said no. But yeah, anyway, but the basic story is that after the tariffs that Trump wants to put onto a lot of these other countries, China, he's hit the pause button on a lot of them, except for China, which didn't he put that up to like 104% or something?
No, I heard like 124 or something like that.
120. Well, no, I thought that's what they wanted to return back to us.
Oh, maybe. I know it's something ludicrous.
Yeah, so now because of that, China is not so sure that they want to do a TikTok deal with us.
I mean, they get paid, right? Or whoever the company is.
Yeah. Yeah, so here it is. Will Trump's tariffs impact the TikTok deal? Trump says the deal is still on the table. And China has not said that they're walking away from it, but they've also said that they're not happy about this. So that could potentially impact TikTok being here in America. It won't affect Canada, which, Looker, I know you're from Canada, so I know that won't affect you guys. But anybody here in the States, it could very much impact us.
Canada,
I know a lot of sad teenagers that would.
I mean, it went away for a day and literally people lost their fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? Oh my God. Like, I understand. Yeah, it's how you're making money and whatnot. But
now with this administration, it's hard to keep up. So right now it says Trump's tariff on Chinese goods is now at 145%. And then he hit the pause button on all of it on like every single country, including the one with penguins, and said, we're going to put this off for 90 days. But he kept China's on here. And I'm like, how can you say you're negotiating with China in good faith because you have a great relationship with them? And then you start doing this to them. And then when they retaliate, you're like, oh, well, we'll make ours higher. Oh, we'll make ours higher. Oh, we'll make ours
it's
higher.
Just a war. It's just a different kind of
Did you hear the reasoning for the island with the penguins, why they put the tariffs on that one?
No. It's so hard to keep up with everything.
It's so stupid you can't believe it anyway.
Supposedly the reasoning behind that is because they didn't want that island to be used as a loophole so that China could send it to that island first, and then somehow I guess the penguins would magically send it to the US or whatever. But
penguin care.
To get around the tariff by sending it through a non-tariffed country. And so that was their reasoning is because they didn't want that loophole to be open Now, how penguins I don't know what kind of service penguins mail packages out in, but that was their reasoning.
Is it faster than Amazon?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I mean, Danny DeVito had some pretty fucking smart penguins in the Batman movie, so
True. I did see like kind of I guess funny political meme where they're like, turn on the tariffs, watch the stocks drop, and then buy up all the stocks, turn off the tariffs, and then sell them all. Ta-da,
oh, it's total.
profit.
It's total.
Right?
Total insider training.
Yeah. They're not even trying to hide it. It's like when the average person can sit there and go like, yep,
Right.
But yeah, so here last week Trump shared that the deal was in the works to create a new company that would house and manage TikTok's U.S. assets, as reported by Reuters. The company would be operated by a majority of U.S. investors, and ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, would hold a minority position of under 20%. A source with the matter told Reuters last week that the deal was approved by existing investors who have so far remained unnamed, ByteDance and the U.S. government. And I know that what was it? Amazon put in a deal for that too, and I know Mr. Beast was actually looking to put in a bid for it as well.
Yeah, I had heard about that.
Yeah, I heard about both those too.
So who knows what's going to happen with this? I don't know. I think we already had our freak out moment with it at the beginning of the year. At this point, it's like, okay, get rid of it or don't.
Right. Like now it's just shit or get off the pot.
Now you're just pissing everyone off.
The Looker says that it will impact us in a roundabout way.
Yeah. So
I mean, everything does.
I mean, yeah. But I know, I'm pretty sure Canada can't have, what the hell is it? Patreon? Like, they can't have Patreon because it's a U.S. thing. Because there's a Lego YouTuber that says, he can't have it because it's based in U.S. and he's in Canada. So it's probably kind of the same thing.
I hadn't heard about that, but I mean, that does make sense. But I hadn't heard about that, though.
Yeah. At least that's what he said in a couple of his videos, because people have asked him why he doesn't do it.
It's kind of funny. I was sitting here telling Neodeath, like, oh, you got to get on TikTok. That'll help you expand your audience. And now TikTok might be going away. So it's kind of my fault. Sorry.
I mean, I've been doing kind of decent on TikTok. I've been trying.
I need to start utilizing it more.
It's a trial and error. Yeah. I mean, I get more reach there than I think I do with my other places. So,
well,
do you stream there, or do you just?
I can't stream there yet.
Yeah,
but I don't think, like Adam was saying, you don't have to have like the full 1,000 followers to stream. You just have to have engagement, because the wife, she has TikTok and she's got like 400 people that follow her, but she doesn't post anything. But I noticed on her app she could go live, and I'm like, well, okay, I just have to, continue doing what I'm doing, and I will get there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's what I saw, too. You had to have 1,000. I'm still under 1,000, and I've been able to go live for a couple months now. But you have to be consistent on engaging.
Yeah, see, that's my issue. The only thing that I'm really consistent on would be Twitter. Like, I post on there several times a day and
people
things like that. Oh, God, yeah. Oh God, yeah! I actually have the capability.
Just the cesspool of the internet now.
I mean, pretty much anything is the cesspool of the internet. I have the capability to stream to Twitter. I just haven't set it up yet. And then a couple of my buddies who are streaming are all like, "Dude, go to Rumble. Go to Rumble. They like, you get exposure there. Like, there's no tomorrow." And I'm just like, eh.
Yeah,
but on the other hand, I'm like, what's one more platform?
I was gonna say, do you want to kill it?
So, yeah, right. I like that scene in what is it? Happy Gilmore, Steve Buscemi's character. It's got that list of people to kill. I've got platforms.
Yeah,
before scratch another one off my list.
before we started this show, when I was doing it as Goes Nowhere Does Nothing with Charlie, he was actually talking about moving things over to Rumble at 1.2, and it seems good because they don't have a whole lot of the rules that like YouTube and all them do. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have the reach either. You know, it's got reach.
It's growing though. It is growing, and a lot of my friends are saying like, you know, get in on the ground floor, woo woo woo, and all of that. But at the same time, I've also noticed that several of them have stopped streaming there and have gone back to their other platforms that they were on. So I mean, I don't know. I get the most, I'd say, interaction on my Twitch
Mm-hmm.
stream. But even today when I was streaming, I noticed when I had the beam window open, like I had 3 viewers on Twitch, I had 2 on Kick, I had 1 on YouTube, and I did have 2 on, well, one of them was me, but I did have 2 on Facebook as well. So, I mean, I'm getting views, I'm just not getting
Consistent?
interaction. And well, that too. I don't think, I think if I stream more often, I will start getting more interaction. Because I know, Neodeath, you had popped into my stream, and there was that other guy chatting with me, Mem. He's like the only one that interacts with me. So
I mean, I
think,
don't even care if it's interaction, really, because most of the interaction is, oh, you're a streamer? I can help you. Let's go to Discord. Yeah, I can help
Yeah,
you. Go
yeah,
away.
you get a lot of that.
and then you know, on Facebook, I had my mom was watching me, so you know, like, but
But I mean, like, so if I just want the people, like today I streamed and I had like one person that just sat there in the chat but was there, I'll take that. As long as I
lurking,
got
yep.
somebody there, like,
That's
yeah,
what I do.
well, yeah,
Anytime I see
yeah.
you, it's
When you're
usually when I'm
working
at
and
work.
lurking and you're
Yeah.
there, I'm totally cool. Like, we're kind of chatting. I'm chatting to somebody. I feel like I'm doing something, and I'm not just talking to myself in my head.
I still the biggest issue I have with streaming is I cannot get my audio right for my PlayStation.
The game.
It's always like too quiet.
Hmm.
And like I was watching my VOD after I got done while I was waiting to do this show, and again, it's too quiet. Like it's fine when I'm watching. It's fine when I'm watching on like my cell phone and my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I bring it up onto my computer,
really low.
It's really low. So
yeah, but I mean, every time I see Brian on there, or sorry, I'm gonna have to get used to calling you guys by your by your stage names. Every time
I got my name on my Facebook, so I don't really care. But yes,
every time I see Neodeath on there, I always jump in there and I try to say at least a few words. The other day, I think I was there and I couldn't say a single thing because my line was just going bing, 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 bing. It was like, yes, ma'am, it was sent out, and if you clearly read the statement, it says that we either didn't receive it or it's in processing, and that's why you didn't receive it. Yours is in processing.
I don't know. I'm just sitting here staring at myself right now going, my God, I need to shave.
I'm looking at mine like, wow, I gotta try and figure out a way to fix this because I mean it works. You saw my wife in here just a little bit ago moving this thing around.
Your background is better. It's like the lighting on your eye is cutting out.
What eye? My eye is
exactly.
It's giving you an eye.
Oh, right.
I kind of have an eye now. Actually, on one of my phones that I had at the time, I found out like it did one of those mirror things, and I put it together, and then I posted it, and I was like, "So this is what I'd look like if I had 2 eyes." It looks weird. It's like, and it's weird that it looks weird, which is weird in itself. My wife actually came up and yeah, that's what she said. She was like, "Well, you're weird, so it works."
Right.
So anyway, but did you guys hear? I guess Xbox is actually going to do a showcase in June. I don't know why they're announcing it this early if it's not even until June, but I'll take it.
I mean, isn't June usually like when E3 and the other game show that used to go on?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It makes kind of sense. That's about the time E3 used to win off. And now they've got I don't even know what the hell they call it.
Well, didn't Sony say they were going to have a Borderlands 4 thing in June? State of Play? Isn't that supposed to happen in June?
I've heard Borderlands, and then I also heard it was going to be Wolverine.
Okay, well, I know that the Borderlands one was like even announced at the last Sony State of Play. Because they
Okay.
even had, I believe they even had Randy on, and he's like, look for more information at a special Borderlands 4 themed State of Play. And I thought he said June. Maybe he just said this summer, but I thought he said June.
But yeah, and of course now everybody's thinking they're leaking the games, but of course this is so far in advance. Who knows if they even know what games
are supposedly leaked?
Well, right here, you've got the new Gears of War game that that was apparently leaked that'll show up, and I really wouldn't be surprised if we do learn more about it. But I'd be surprised if that releases this year.
Yeah, because wasn't the rumor supposedly that like a collection was going to be coming to the PS5?
Yes.
So maybe that could be it too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Hollow Knight?
Yep, Hollow Knight. Right here,
No.
Hollow Knight, Silksong, Minecraft, Dragons 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Persona 4. Now we already know about Ninja Gaiden and a couple of those from the last showcase, but it wouldn't surprise me if we do learn more information about them.
And Outer Worlds 2, which I can't wait for. I actually loved Outer Worlds. That was a fantastic game.
I played a little bit of it. It gave me the vibe of like old school. Fuck, I can't even think of the name. With the big daddies. Come on.
Oh, BioShock.
BioShock. Thank you. But you put it in space.
Yeah. Mm. What's the latest off again on again rumor about the Oblivion remake?
I don't think it said anything.
I keep hearing things like, "Oh, that's supposed to be shadow dropping soon," and then like
it really
it's not, and then it is, and I wouldn't mind playing that because I never finished Oblivion. Skyrim's actually the only Elder Scrolls game that I finished.
I don't think I've played any of them.
No?
Yeah.
I was gonna get Oblivion on like the PS3, but I just didn't do it because it was just looked too huge.
Yeah. So here's what you were talking about, Koimiya. Gears of War collection is the one that's rumored. There's a lot of indication saying that that's going to be the next one that drops, and that'll drop just previous to the new Gears of War coming out. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do announce this, that we get more information on the upcoming Gears.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised to see if we get like a new Fusion, or at least some sort of racing game through Fusion or through any other racers that they have. So because they really haven't had a whole lot of racers, at least that I know of. Okay. I'm just going through this more. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about a new Forza, but yeah. So right here, the first game was popular enough, and a Minecraft movie is dominating the box office at this point. At the point of writing this, yeah, it's actually like the second most successful movie of 2025 so far, which is
seriously.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's getting ripped apart by critics, but audiences
are loving it. It's not for critics, right?
Right. It's kind of one of those movies
where
I'm like, if for the critics.
I was gonna say, if it's doing good, then great, because that just means that maybe we'll get more IPs from decent games that'll become movies. As long as they follow it decently. Like if it just goes off on fucking a random tangent, then
Now, speaking of following things decently, did you see that Last of Us is already signed on for a third season, and it will quote follow the second game more?
Just like, well, from what I understand, because Pedro Pascal is so popular on that show, they didn't necessarily want to get rid of him, so they took away Joel's death. I think he still gets hurt, but I don't think they kill him.
Wow. Spoilers.
Well, sorry if you haven't played it.
But I saw that they got signed on for a third season.
Where do they go?
Second one first. I'm like, can the second season first come out? Because that doesn't even drop till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
but it's already
come out tomorrow.
The second season of Last of Us.
Is it all of it, or is it
that I don't know.
I
mean, it's HBO, so it's probably weekly release.
I mean, they're all doing that now, which kind of sucks.
Well, they gotta keep you
Sometimes
subscribed.
they let you binge it all, which is what I'd rather do. I'd rather just
I know my wife
speed
was
run it through it.
I know my wife was excited because the third season of or the new season of Handmaid's Tale started. So she's already binge watched all of those episodes that have dropped.
You know, and I'm really surprised. I'm surprised that they've actually started advertising the new season of South Park, and that doesn't start until what, June or July. I was like, I thought those guys worked on it in like a 6-day process, not like this many months in advance, so that they could stay more topical.
I'm interested in seeing, because I know they had said a while ago that they aren't going to have Mr. Garrison basically reprise his role as Trump. They said they were going to stay away from that this time, which surprises me because normally they're not afraid to do
Right.
anything.
Yeah,
I don't think they're afraid of it. I think it's just that this administration moves so fast. By the time you can parody this,
Right.
it's already feels like
done, and we're on
Yeah,
to something
that's a
else.
possibility. But and then I mean, didn't we just get recently an announcement for the new season of Rick and Morty?
Yes, I was just about
I'm
to
pretty
say
sure I
that.
saw that too.
You know, I recently saw a documentary that was kind of discussing the difference between The Simpsons and Family Guy and South Park, and I was like, they're like, everybody always thinks that goes after the same audience, and it really does go after the same audience. But if you really watch it, it's 3 different styles of animation and 3 different styles of comedy.
Well, hell, I mean, if you even take Seth MacFarlane's 3 shows, they're all different. You know, you have Family Guy, you have The Cleveland Show, and you have American Dad. And I mean, all 3 of them
on the
are
surface
the
they look the same,
but completely different.
On
and
the
out of
surface, they
those
look the
3,
same.
I like American Dad the best. And it's weird because initially I liked Family Guy, and I was like, American Dad's okay. And then once American Dad found its groove, oh my god, it is like surpassed Family Guy so much. And
their last seasons got fucking weird though. Like with Steve being 14 and wanting his mom's breast milk. It was like, okay, you're going for the gross out humor here, but it's like that just gets weird compared to what you've done in the past, you know?
I mean, if you watched all of their episodes are fucking weird.
Yeah,
I mean, and that continuing story where they would end the shows and it would like turn into the cinematic movie about Roger's golden turd and the people that are like constantly killing each other over this thing. And that was great. That was fantastic.
They'd have like 2 or 3 little things of that each season, and that's why you watched, because you wanted to see where that went.
That's kind of like what was the one that
well, the Simpsons
Rick and
did
Morty
something like
people
that.
did the Odd People, the space people that landed on Earth.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, Solar
Opposites. Hulu or something. Yeah,
Solar Opposites. That one was really good. How you were invested on like the people in the wall or whatever that were shrunk down, and yeah, that was a great one. I loved the storytelling in that one.
Well, I think that Seth MacFarlane, when he did this thing with the Roger mini movie type thing, Simpsons had done something like that as well. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but somebody sat down and realized that if you took all the clips from the episodes where they would show a clip from a McBain movie and put them all together, it actually formed a whole movie. And so I don't know if MacFarlane subconsciously picked up on that and said, you know, let's run with it, or if he blatantly flat out said, I love this idea, let's run with it, or but
it's kind of funny. Cool. Like Fox actually thought that MacFarlane and Groening hated each other because they were always ripping on each other in their shows, and they wanted to put an end to it. And it was actually Groening and MacFarlane had to go to Fox and say, we're friends. We get along. You know, we're trying to be playful, but I guess Fox actually put a stop to it because of one joke in Family Guy that they thought went way too far. And the only reason we know about it is because it actually went on to Cartoon Network, to Adult Swim, and then it showed up on the DVDs, and that was where they did that little banner for The Simpsons where you would have mistaken it for an ad, and then you see Quagmire come up and tackle Marge, and start kind of forcing himself on her, but then of course they walk away, and then she comes back, and like it obvious they had just had sex.
Yeah, her hair's all disheveled and all that. Yeah.
And then then they go back and it cuts to the Simpsons house, and then Homer walks in, he shoots Homer, then he shoots Marge, then he shoots Lisa, then Bart, and then Maggie. And it was like they were like, no, that's way too far. And it was like, that's not too far for Family Guy. You're letting how many other kinds of jokes get in? That's actually pretty tame compared to what he's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it was going on about how like South Park just dropped a bomb on Cartoon Wars, and even Seth MacFarlane was like, "What did I do? We're two different styles." But yeah. So anyway, there was another thing I kind of wanted to bring up here. Do you guys know what's going on with Sony? Or no, you know what? Let's do this. We were talking about The Last of Us. What's going on with Sony and wanting to re-release these games again?
Right. Again.
The Last of Us for $110 too. It's like,
yeah, but I mean, you're getting two full games, all the DLC. So I mean, not that justifies the releasing of the same game again. But here's the thing: Sony's getting shit on for this, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Rockstar does it with GTA 5, and it's the second fucking coming of Christ. You know, Elder Scroll. How many versions of Skyrim are there?
Okay, so I understand with Skyrim, but Rockstar did get shit on a lot because they put out Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3. Then they re-released it because that came out right at the end of PS3's lifestyle, so it made sense that they would update
also,
it
for Last of Us.
Yeah,
the first Last of Us came out on PS3.
Yeah,
and then it came out on PS4, and then Part 2 came out on PS4. And I mean, it's like, why
they do it that way? But
why do we get? I mean, like I said, this is obvious overkill, and they're just cashing in on the release of the second season of HBO. I will give you that. I will concede that. But why is it one company gets shit on and the other company gets stroked off?
I don't know.
You know, it's like, you know, I don't get it. Make it make sense, because I absolutely loved that Key and Peele. I don't even think it was an official Key and Peele sketch, but I know it had one of them. But he was playing Skyrim on his fridge, and like, you know, and no, it was his Alexa, and it actually, you know, they all thought it came out as like an April Fool's joke. But no, you can actually download a thing for Alexa and play fucking Skyrim on Alexa. And so it's
now
like,
that everybody's going off, Alexa, please play Skyrim.
You know, and it's like just okay. So, you know, I don't know. I do agree it's stupid to release this collection. I totally agree about that. But it's, again, the hate for one, the stroking for the other. It's just, I don't.
Well, even Bethesda has said we'll keep re-releasing Skyrim if you keep buying it.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, people.
Like, Todd Howard actually said that.
It's like, you know, you can't get mad at Sony for doing this, because there's some fucker out there that's going to go, I've already bought this game 5 times. I'm still going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I will freely admit, I'm even guilty of doing it. I bought Diablo 3 on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox, PC, you know, and so, I mean, what's that old saying? A fool and his money are soon parted, you know? And so it's like, you can't get mad at Sony for doing this, because somebody out there's going, I can't wait to drop money on that fucking collection, you know? And
it just feels weird, because I mean, okay, so you had, like you said, PS3 is the original Last of Us. Then, and that was what, 2013? Then 2014, they had the remaster. Okay, I see, because that came out during the last year of that console's life cycle, so more people want to play it on the newer cycle. I can get that, but then what, 2020 when Last of Us 2 came out? Then the very next year, then they give us a remake where they were calling it The Last of Us Part 1, And then, like, what, a year later, then they give us The Last of Us Part 2 on PC. Oh, and we're going to upgrade it for PS5. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, guess what? You're going to get 2 games here, and you're going to put them on one. Oh, by the way, we're going to throw in that DLC too. And we're going to charge you $110.
I mean,
It's,
again, it's. But I mean,
Well,
it's not
a steel
just. I mean,
case,
look at
though.
that
So is it
steel
is
case.
it a physical disc then, or
Yes.
is
Yeah,
it just a
Yes.
steel case with a code
steelbook
in it?
case,
Featuring
four
Ellie.
issues of a comic, four lithograph art prints. You know, a thank you letter from Neil. So I mean,
and the
yeah,
book.
you're getting a
I
little bit
mean,
more.
I guess I could see it if you like maybe put in a little figure or something. Like it'd be like what you'd normally get from like God of War or something like
See,
that.
I think this
And
this
this is what it looks
collection
like.
this collection right here is not for the average person. This collection right here is for collectors. And you know, if you've already played the game and you're a normal player, you're not going to buy this collection. You're going to be going, "Oh, what the fuck, Sony making money again?" You know, and it's for the collector. And like the people like me who are like, yeah, I need this fucking version because reasons, you know?
Right.
And so, but yeah, I
will say the steel case here looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really thought that was weird. I mean, I have been a collector. I had to get rid of a lot of stuff when I went through some financial hard times, but I'd like to get back into collecting. It's just that just seems like excessive, at least to me. I can see what you're saying though.
Depends on what you're collecting and what your hobby is.
So,
I mean, if you're trying to collect every PS4, PS5 game, there you go. You're going to have a reason to buy it, right?
mm-hmm.
I don't know if people try and do that with the newer systems.
Oh, I'm sure there's hobbyists out there that do that. I'm sure.
Most likely. And
I'm not one, but
yep. And another what are they thinking news here? You also had Nintendo with their $70. Oh, sorry, I didn't put it up here. $70 for the new Breath of the Wild, but it doesn't even come with the DLC. You'll actually have to pay another $20 for that.
No,
it's a $90 game.
That's definitely a cash grab right there.
I just want to know, didn't you post this in the group, Connor? Like, what is Nintendo thinking?
Yeah.
You probably don't want to be on that page. Right
No.
Oh, didn't realize it went that way.
Look away! There we go.
It's just so.
Yeah, but that's a bad group to be showing.
I don't. Nintendo is like getting in their own way with this one, and I don't know what the hell they're doing. You know, like
they think the collector or the Nintendo fanboy will come out to.
Oh, they don't think it. They know they will.
I mean, I'm not buying.
I mean, I have friends that are all set to fucking pre-order it as soon as they go live. And I mean,
the Switch or the
Switch
Zelda.
The Switch 2. Well, okay. I have friends that are all like, I can't wait to get Zelda on the new Switch and da 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 da. Like, so I'm just like, I don't know. The more I hear about the Switch 2, the more I'm just like,
do we even have a new like date that it's going to?
Nope, not yet.
Pre-order?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Okay, so we're just floating in the air. Don't know when we're pre-ordering. Okay,
we just know it's coming out in June.
And with these tariffs doing what they're doing, who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
But
I mean, if we if the tariffs are off right now and we pre-order right now, wouldn't we get it at that price and it wouldn't go up when the tariffs go in? If the tariffs went into effect in June?
Well, it wasn't it also that Trump can decide if companies are exempt from it?
I think
Yeah,
so.
and he's
I mean, he
already
did that
announced
last
that
time for video
like a
games.
bunch of things. I just saw a thing today where he said that a bunch of electronics devices and whatnot are exempt. But
But
I didn't really read the article, so I don't know if that also includes his little tiff with China or not.
hmm.
So it just
I
said
mean, most
electronic.
things are made over there,
Right.
or Taiwan
Exactly.
or Vietnam, all those places.
Yeah, right here. The U.S. exempts smartphones, computers from Trump tariffs. Smartphones, computers, and other electronics have been exempted.
Video games are a
According,
billion-dollar industry, so you'd think that they would be, but you
Yep.
never know.
it says, according to a notice published late Friday by U.S. Customs and Border Protection Office, a host of popular high-tech products will not be subject to tariffs and will buffer the public from cost increase. Let's see. I'm just trying to find what exactly. Oh, apparently now we were all wrong. The universal tariffs on China are now 145%.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I said 124, but I'm just trying to find the list of things that are okay. Let's see here.
I have people on my list that would actually say, like, "What do you mean okay? Nothing is okay."
Right.
It
But
doesn't tell me. It's like a bunch of like numbers. I don't know. Bunch of bullshit. Anyway,
But anyway, what the hell, Nintendo? Is how I feel like we should just go back to that. But yes, you got here. Nintendo announced that the game, a launch title on the original Switch back in 2017, will get an upgraded version for the Switch 2 with smoother frame rates, which is always good. Better resolution, faster load times, HDR support, and additional perks from the Zelda Notes mobile app, like daily stat bonuses and a GPS for finding Kronk seeds. While the upgrade is free for the Switch Online Expansion Pack subscribers, it will be $10 for everyone else, making Zelda Breath of the Wild a $70 game on the Switch 2, which doesn't make sense because it's almost a 8-year-old game, 7-year-old game?
Right. Same thing with like The Last of Us. Same shit.
Yeah, and in contrast here, it says here the 8-year-old mega hit with CD Projekt Red to Cyberpunk 2077. Both games have sold 30 million copies. Both games are dense open world adventures, both coming to Switch 2. Both will be $70, except Cyberpunk will include Phantom Liberty expansion, which came out less than 2 years ago as a complete edition pack in a no extra charge. But I wonder if that's because CD Projekt Red maybe told them do not charge extra for this, and they're the ones that maybe held the cards there, and this is a Nintendo owned IP, and they can do what they want with it.
that's probably definitely it. You want Cyberpunk on your system, you're going to allow everything.
Right.
So that's definitely, yeah, I would not be shocked in the least.
So I don't know. The Nintendo used to be like top of the game, so to speak. Now I'm just like, now you're just kind of falling in the way of Sony, where they just charge for every single thing that they can. At least for me. And don't get me wrong, I know that you do have to charge. I know that, you know, the eventually these are companies. Their main goal is to make money, but do it in a way that doesn't seem so slimy.
Is there a way?
Yeah, like don't charge so much, but charge what, $30-$40 and include the DLC? You don't need to charge full price for a game that's that old where you're just kind of spit and polishing them to maybe look a little better. I don't even think they'll look that good. I don't think you'll see a difference between the two.
Yeah.
On the software. I really don't.
Unless you have a TV that can handle a lot of that, like we were talking about last week. Unless your TV can actually handle those upgrades, it's not going to matter anyway.
I mean, I played the second Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom on my TV, and it still looked good. Like even though it didn't have all the 4K, the HDR, and all that bullshit. So, I mean, I don't think you're going to see a difference enough
Yeah.
to spend that much on it.
At least I don't.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Right, and kind of also going with something that we talked about last week. Nintendo says there's going to be no download codes needed for first-party physical Switch 2 edition games.
Which it's what I figured that they're not going to do that to their own party system. It's going to be like third-party stuff that wants to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it just depends on how wild it gets. If it becomes like every game is coming out that way, then it's like, why am I buying a physical product to get a digital product? Technically, like I can go buy it off the store, their digital store, for the same fucking price, and yeah, and you don't even get anything anymore because they got rid of the Nintendo coin thing is going away too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says here everything will be included in a cartridge. That said, they do note that this may not be the case for other publishers, including third-party companies. I wasn't surprised to see that. At the same time, it was like you could have been a little clearer on that when you first announced this.
Yeah, I mean, they knew that their stuff was not going to be that way, right? Like they could have just said, yeah, just third parties could have this. I mean, but we didn't even get that information in the presentation yet. It was like a package after everything. They sent out all the prices and stuff because they didn't want to talk about it on stream. It was all hush hush kind of thing.
Yeah, so, they wanted to.
It's very odd how they did it.
Yeah, they wanted to keep everything exciting for that, and then apparently
drop the bomb. All this can be yours if the price is right.
Mm-hmm. I'd buy that for $1.
Well, I do have to say on the page, I really liked what you guys put there. Neodeath, I think this was actually from you. Let me actually show this here. I actually just busted out laughing when I first saw it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
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 Yep. I love that. And so began the Great Pirate Era. You can't say that's
and
not
it's
gonna
funny
happen.
because Nintendo's always been the one that you pirated most games, like the ROMs and everything. So it just fit.
Mm-hmm. Can anybody say that there's a lie there? I feel like Maury just going like, no lies detected. You know, the lie detector determined you're telling the truth.
Right.
So
I mean, just like that stuff though, like they're trying to go after all the people that have ROM sites and all that. Like I understand that's your IP and you want to protect it, but it's been how many years? Like, come on.
Get it together.
We just want to play your games on newer systems, save states, all the shit. Just include that in your system then. Like, problem solved, and we will rebuy it.
Yep. And then here, there was actually the securities firm believes that Switch 2 will cost $400 to make. Nintendo will sell at a loss. But if they're selling it, that sounds like they're either breaking even or selling at a profit. But I'll bet it takes more than $400 to make this system. So they're definitely selling at a loss, just like every system under the sun.
You know, the funny thing is when I first saw that headline, I was like, okay, where's Michael Proctor? That guy fucking yeah. But then I saw that it was
not tell us how you really feel.
I believe I have. So but then, you know, I was reading the actual article and I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, they're already selling it for 50 to 100 more than what the cost is. But I was, you know, I don't know.
I would.
I guess that's why I'm not an analyst, you know. So.
Because isn't that what you were saying last week, Neodeath? I mean, you always sell the console at a loss, and then you make it up in like the games,
You make it up in
and
software.
yeah,
Your
you
first
could,
party, titles that are going to be out day one. Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, usually a Mario game. Like those are going to be your sellers that are going to make you back your money
mhm.
and drive people to the system.
Not at $80.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know how many parents are going to grab that system and go like, "No, you can't afford the games." You know?
We have Switch at home.
Right.
So
But this is second Switch.
We've had
I'm just
one,
glad that
yes.
they,
Let's put a second
they
Switch.
decided to go with like a number system instead of that whole Wii U bullshit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but they missed it on this one. It needed to be Super Nintendo Switch. Like that would have been the best thing ever, right?
Mhm. That would have brought like all the people who gave up on Nintendo years ago,
Right.
just because they
People
would have
would
been
be
like
going,
Super Nintendo.
oh, wait, it's a Super Nintendo again?
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I'm just glad. So, like, I used to work at a Target, and I had to work there during the whole Wii U fiasco. I'm glad I missed out on the whole Series X, Series S, Xbox One, One X. You know, I'm glad I missed out on all that shit.
Try explaining that to a grandma walking in.
Well, I had a hard enough time when it was like the 1 year. It was like Madden was celebrating their 20th anniversary, so instead of calling it Madden 15 because it was the year, like 2015, they called it Madden 20, and I had a hell of a time trying to explain that to a guest. Well, it's because it's the anniversary of the game and not this and not that, and they just kind of looked at me like, they claimed they understood, but you could tell that I had explaining it to a wall. So
well, they did that with Battlefield as well. They were coming out with like instead of Battlefield 5, they came out with Battlefield 1, and then the next one was 5, which was actually the 6th game, and it was like, whoa.
Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've explained a few things to parents in my day. I remember when the TV ratings first came out. I was working at Best Buy in I want to say it was in Geneva, Illinois, and she didn't understand the difference between TV 14 and PG 13. And I'm just sitting there like, essentially TV 14 is the PG 13 rating. It's like, oh, why don't they just say that? What's the difference? It's like, there's no difference. One's shown on TV in episodes, the other's one big movie. That's it.
Right.
And then she's like,
different things that are not cohesive.
Mm-hmm. And then I had to explain to them, I've had to explain to parents too, like all M ratings are not the same. There's a difference between, South Park M rating and Mortal Kombat M rating.
I mean, I also did retail in Walmart and Toys R Us during holiday seasons and trying to explain people, oh, can I get you the new GTA? Well, you understand that this is a mature game and you're going to be able to do these things. Are you okay with that? Because we will not return it.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then they'd call me up to the customer
I believe
service.
you sold this game to my kid.
Yeah, you call me up customer service. You said that they could return this? No, I definitely said not. And that it is a mature game. So
the one time I actually kind of did that, and it wasn't even actually for a game. I was still working at Target in the MM&B, music, movies, and books. And I had a dad who had a daughter who couldn't have been more than 11 or 12 at the time. And he was going to buy her the books of trilogy of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And I'm just like, sir, are you aware of what is in these books? And he's like, no. So I wrote down, because I wasn't even going to say it in front of her, and I wrote it down. He read it, and he's like, yeah, honey, let's pick out something else.
Yeah.
Like that was the one time that I'm like, any other time a mom wanted to buy a GTA for a kid or whatever, I'm like, yeah, whatever, let your little brat child have it. But this time I was just like, I would be remiss if I did not tell you that,
That actually happened with me with Grand Theft Auto 5. I was working at Best Buy, and this kid who couldn't have been like 9, came in with grandma. So I was like, yeah, you're not even coming in with mom. You're coming in with grandma. And she's like, he's looking for a game called Grand Theft Auto 5. And I was like, and I told her, I was like, you know what's in that? I was like, she's like, oh yeah, but games are for kids. And I looked at her, I said, ma'am, the game is named after a felony. Do you think that's actually, And she's like, oh, but it's fine. So I actually pulled out my phone, and the kid's like, oh no, I can handle it. I can handle it. It's like, yeah, every 9-year-old says I can handle it,
Right.
So I pulled it up, and what did I do is like, I didn't even show her the trailer. I pulled it up to Trevor's torture scene. And I was like, and guess what? He has no option to actually skip this part. He has to do it. Watch. And she's watching them like rip his teeth out, smash this guy's thing. And she's like, oh God, why would they sell this to kids? And I said, and I actually pulled it up. I was like, so here's what's called a rating. It's like, see how this is M, mature, 17 plus? That means it's not recommended for anybody under 17. And here, flip over the thing, and it tells you what's in it. Blood, gore, sex. And she's like, no, we got to do that. And he's like, the kids like just started freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
He was cursing you.
Yeah, we got it. And then you cock blocked them, basically.
He's probably like, that son of a bitch, I'm going to come back and get his other eye.
Yeah, probably. But I was like, you know what? You can play something like this. And I brought out like even mature, well, not mature, but I was like, Mortal Kombat, it's a little more violent, but it's also not this. I was like, or you could do, Uncharted, amazing games, do this. And he just started crying, and she took him out. And I was like, yeah, I told my wife about that. She's like, he went to school the next day and just cursed you out.
Oh yeah.
And basically told them, don't go to Best Buy with that one-eyed freak over there. He pissed me off. It's out my coffee.
Yay, we did it!
I'm getting this other guy. That trust me, I've heard. Oh, you need to open your other eye. Everything.
Holy shit!
Holy shit!
Dying here.
Oh, sorry.
You're welcome. You are welcome. I'm here all week.
Tip your waitresses.
Right.
But yeah, and of course that's when I actually told her. I was like, now don't just think the M rating means this. I was like, now always ask if you have questions, but it also pays to do a little research,
That was back before research equaled I watched a video on YouTube.
Well, I mean, any of those ratings. I mean, you had it on music too, the parental guidance thing, but you would still be able to buy them.
Right.
I think one time I went into like Sam Goody or one of those type stores and tried to buy, I think, Marilyn Manson or something like that, and they literally wouldn't sell it to me.
Remember when Walmart used to edit their CDs?
Yes.
Oh my
God.
God.
Hated that. Because in my little town, that's the only way I could get music. So I would go buy it, and I'm like, what the fuck? They're not saying any swear words.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it back to them. I'm like, I don't want this. This is not what I paid my money for. I want the full album. And they returned it, but I never bought from them again. That was right when they started doing it. That pissed me the fuck off.
I remember I was actually in Walmart when Eminem's that one album that he put out like right after Trump got elected the first time. I think it was called Revival or something like that. I was in Walmart and I heard this guy go like, okay, I need the new Eminem CD. And he was about my age. And the worker took him over, handed it to him. And I actually ran up. I was like, sir, don't buy it here. Go to Target because that's going to be edited. And the Walmart worker actually like stood in between us and he's like, well, not exactly. And I was like, it's edited. It's censored. Do you see the parental advisory on there? And he's like, wait, is this censored? And the guy goes, well,
usually on it used to say
on the sticker
clean.
it would say edited or clean. Yeah.
Well, he goes, well, we don't sell anything with a parental advisory sticker. And I was like, yes, edited. He just admitted it. Put it down. Go to Target. So he did. And he was like, what about this one? And it was like a Green Day CD. And I was like, that's up to you because they don't swear constantly. So
It's still
it
going to
won't-
be edited.
it'll still be edited. And he put those both down. He's like, all right, thanks, buddy. He's like, patted me on the shoulder. And then as he walked away, the other guy was like, yeah, thanks, buddy. And I was like, well, Walmart can afford to not sell 2 CDs.
It's like, dude, you are not getting commission on a CD sale.
Exactly.
Shut the
Right.
fuck up.
Like, and it was like an
I mean,
old
I
guy.
don't
It was
even
like in
know
his
how they could
60s.
do that because you're fucking with the original thing. It's
Mhm.
not like you're playing it to the masses. Someone's
sure that,
putting
like-
down their physical money to buy it. They
probably-
want
Walm-
the product.
Walmart probably had some deal with the record labels where they're like, yeah, we'll sell your product if you
Clean it up.
clean it up. And the record labels, of course, they still want the fucking money. They're,
Yeah,
oh,
they don't
okay,
care.
sure, you know. And
Right.
so,
Well, that's why in Eminem's second album, or technically third, but the Marshall Mathers LP, if you remember the song Kim, probably like the most wow kind of song that I've
Mhm.
ever heard. In the edited version, they don't even put that song on there. They actually replaced it with something called Kids, which was just a giant parody of Mr. Mackey from South Park. He's like, okay, they see their children drugs are bad. And if you don't believe me, ask your dad. And if you don't believe him, ask your mom. And she'll tell you what really goes on. You know, just like this whole thing. And it's like, that's kind of become almost a hidden gem because Walmart wouldn't sell it. They made that to put on the CD instead of Kim.
Huh.
I mean, the same thing happened to ICP when Great Malenko came out. And they pulled the album after like being on the shelves for like 3 hours.
Mhm.
And then they had to go back and re-record a couple of songs because it was too violent. And so,
ICP too violent? Never. Perish the thought.
Right.
right.
Never
But-
happened.
So
But
yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those. I'm very much down with censorship. I see where it's necessary, but I'm like, don't force it on people.
Well, I mean, there's a thing between censorship and like information. Like everybody knows the movie ratings, right? So
Mhm.
you got to know what you're getting when you sign up for it. So it's the parents' duty to go look at said game and go, oh, okay, yeah, it has this, and this. All right, we're not going to get that. But just going, yep, you can have it. Here you go, Timmy.
Mhm.
Like that is not their fault for doing that because you didn't put the due diligence in. And
okay, so do you
protect
think it's time with this system in place for however long it's been and with the way the world is changing these days and all that, do you think it's time for companies to be more okay doing AO games?
I think so.
Because I've only seen them on Steam.
Hmm.
You know,
Right.
there is no AO games
Right.
on Xbox or
I mean,
or-
yeah, Sony and them will not do it because they fear that it will be shunned or whatever.
Well, it's because the retail stores, the big box retail stores, refuse to sell AO games. Walmart,
right, but
Target, Best Buy.
nowadays we don't go to the store to buy the things. We buy it from the market
Right.
usually, unless you're getting a physical copy. You buy it from the market, so that can go away too, right? I mean, I guess it depends on the story, and I see where you're leading with this one that
Yep.
goes into
Actually,
our
that was unintentional.
but it's a good segue into
It is,
our
it is.
next story.
Yep. Yeah, Steam pulls a disturbing sexual assault game, and I'm gonna say this even though we're on YouTube, because it says it right here. I'm just reading it. A game following mass outrage, but the thing was the developers actually defended it and then still pulled it. I don't know. A game like this. So there's a fine line. Do you think a game like this is dangerous, or do you think that this is an artistic expression?
Here's my first question. Mass outrage. Okay, so was it a bunch of people collectively bought this game, played it, and then went, "Oh my fucking god"? Or was it like one person played it and was like, "Dude, you gotta check this shit out," and then from there it steamrolled into this big, massive outrage?
Right.
'Cause,
That
I
no
mean,
one's actually played it. Like you don't
with Steam selling AO games, you have to. It's not like right in your face front page, shops when you go into the Steam store. You have to actively search for an AO game.
Mm-hmm.
And if this game had an AO rating,
which I
These
think it
people
did.
are. Well,
But
oh,
I
I'm
mean,
sure it did. I'm sure it did.
I
But
think
these
so.
people are actively looking for these games, these types of games.
Right. Just to
So
be
then does it?
outraged, just so they can go, oh my God, why would
Yeah,
we sell that
exactly.
thing?
Look at what Steam is selling now. Like,
Right.
like they have to actively search for these. I mean, what did this person type in? I want a incestual sexual assault game, and like bing, there it is, and it's
Right.
like, why
So
are you actively
The
looking
other
for
thing
this in the
is, though,
first
like,
place?
you can also educate through it, right? Like, you don't know if that was part of a wider story, whether they'll grow from it or get revenge, or wherever the story's going with it. I
Remember when
mean,
Postal was
you
was
can
the
also.
controversial game?
What was that?
Postal. Remember when
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
shit their collective beds over Postal until it became like a parody of itself, and it had fucking the dude from Different Strokes running around in it and shit. But
Mhm.
like, and they even made a movie of that, didn't they?
Yeah,
Didn't they
they
make a
did.
Postal movie? Yeah, and like, so
Well, here it says the developers behind the non-consensual sex game, which advertised itself as every woman's worst nightmare, have chosen to remove their game from sale on Steam after it was banned in Australia, the United Kingdom, and Canada. As detailed in the article by Kotaku, I'm not sure how to say his last name. I think it's Zuizen, Zach Zuizen. The developer behind the game opted to pull it from sale voluntarily following 10,000 plus, now 40,000 plus change.org petition to remove the game entirely. So it's not even people complaining. It's real. When you get into these petitions, I'm like, how many people just saw it, clicked on it, and signed it, and then just
Right.
moved
They
on,
just
did
go
not even
click,
knowing what it
click.
was.
Okay, sure.
Cool, I'm part of something now.
Right.
And it's like,
No,
okay,
no clue what they were doing, signing up for, or what they were going against.
prior to this, Steam banned users in the UK from purchasing the game on their storefront. And then it says at this time, the game has been blocked in 3 countries, which is actually 3 of the biggest countries for video game sales. We don't intend to fight the whole world, and specifically, we don't want to cause any problems for Steam and Valve. Stated the developers before the title was removed from the storefront. Well, I mean, you did kind of want to start problems. You don't put a game like that up if you're not trying to start shit.
Right. You're in development. You know what you're making, and you're probably telling them what you're making.
well, and here's the other thing too, though. I mean, I don't know. Does Steam have the same, like, for lack of better words, rules and regulations that, like, to put a game on Nintendo or on PlayStation, you hear them always saying, "Well, it's got to go past all the
Quality.
the
The censors.
this well, not even the censors, but like for lack of better words, like the auditors or the regulators and all that. It's got to pass their criterias. For the Steam have one of those, or is Steam just like, oh, you made a game, cool, and throw it on
Yeah,
there?
I
You
mean,
know,
that's what I pretty much thought what Steam did, but
I think they say pretty much, yeah, go ahead and post it, and then when it causes controversy, that's when they're like, oh, sorry, our bad. They don't even have somebody there to check it when it goes in.
right? That's my point. Is like, where was the person that was like, I'm sorry, no, we're not going to put this on our store.
I guess
Right.
what it would be interesting to see what the Metacritic or Metascore is on that one, on the actual game.
I'll have to check that. But yeah, it does
To
say here
see,
they do a great job and are incredibly helpful. If after reading the above, you still believe that such a game should not have been created, I mean, it tells you what the game's about before you even download it. Then we sincerely apologize to you. At the same time, we would like you to be a bit more open to human fetishes that don't harm anyone. Well, I think rape does harm someone. Even though
yeah.
they may seem disgusting to you. Now, when I say that, the real life act does, but does it? I mean, it could be framed like this: somebody with that kind of fetish who isn't going to do it in real life can get their rocks off, so to speak, in a digital setting where it's not hurting anyone.
I mean, even
It
in
is
like, go ahead.
good.
Even in like books, they have it in books quite a bit. It's a subject in books, and it's usually a character building. They're, like I said, they'll either get their revenge, or it'll do something in the end, or there's just books that are just like what is it, splattercore or whatever, where it's just gory and the worst filth you could ever listen to or read. And some people just want to listen to that or read it, like, and if it's not affecting them and it's not causing anything, and have at it. Like, if that's what the reader or the writer wants, then I don't see a problem. If you're paying the money to, and you know what you're getting into from the get-go, I don't see the problem. But yeah, the fact that it was just a change.org and not like they review bombed it, or like I said, I'd love to see what the actual score of the game was getting.
Oh, let me see if I can find that.
But yeah, just to do a change.org because you don't like it, like, oh, I don't like McDonald's because their sign is yellow, they gotta change it, type thing. You're just yelling at it just to yell at it.
It's just angry man yelling at a cloud.
Pretty much, that's how I see it. It's just this like generation where they've got to be outraged with every fucking thing, and they've got to be sheltered from everything. Oh, I can't see that. Like, it happens. Like, it sucks, but the more knowledge we put out there, the better we can change ourselves, right?
No Mercy. I'm just looking at this. You said Metascore?
Yeah, I can't remember whatever the score thing. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I wasn't 100% sure.
Metacritic. Okay, yeah, the reviews are actually like, well, this is through Metacritic. The reviews are actually not that bad. Okay, you are going to be surprised when you see this.
But
I'm actually kind of
is it a positive review bomb? Like, are people like going, oh my god, you're trying to pull this game? No, that's
Oh,
really?
It just switched over. Hold on.
WWF, No Mercy.
Apparently, I'm going up the wrong one.
He just rickrolled us.
I was gonna say. No wonder it's getting good reviews. Have you seen The Rock?
I didn't know The Rock was in that game.
Shit.
Oh.
God damn it, Cyclops. This is why we can't have nice things.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think we need to have the Rickroll thing for one of our things, too.
Wah, wah, wah. Okay. Rally, do you use that one against me?
Yeah, how's it feel, bitch?
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right, but yeah, just trying to pull this up here. Chicago Detective, It's hard to find a Metacritic on this.
Yeah, because it got pulled before anybody could play it.
It probably did. They probably don't have it up there anymore.
It's like I'm finding No Mercy for a movie in 1986 that apparently did really, really poorly. How about No Mercy game Metascore?
That's just going to bring WWF. That is the title of the game, right? I mean, I didn't dream that.
How about SA? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like it actually has a Metascore on here. At least not that I'm finding.
Okay.
Not surprised.
No. Again, probably not enough people have played it, or that like you said, they played it and they say, "Hey, come play this" or whatever.
Because yeah, the game is called No Mercy, right? So
I thought that is what it's called. I could be absolutely wrong though.
Steam
should be in that freaking article that you had up.
I didn't see a name because I kept looking.
Uh-huh.
No, because
Okay.
when I go on here, it just gives me like the phone number to RAIN, RAINN, which was the National SA
Right.
hotline. Let's see, developers. It just keeps giving me all kinds of things about how it's getting pulled, but it doesn't say what the Metacritic score is or what the score is here. I did find a new article on it though, which kind of explains a little bit more of what's going on with it.
Okay.
So this was from Kotaku, and I found it on Yahoo. Yeah, devs behind the controversial game
Sure.
defend it, but says it's pulling it from Steam anyway. And I'm still trying to see if there's. I'll bet nobody reviewed it, or maybe like one guy reviewed it. You know.
Yeah, like I said, they probably pulled it before anybody
Right.
could review it.
Yeah, players who bought the game will still be able to download, install, and play No Mercy after it's removed. So I have no intention of going in there, but if you want to, it's still there if you've already downloaded it.
But
yeah.
you can't download it from going forward, correct?
Yes, looks like it. Yeah. And okay, so yeah, kind of what you were talking about there. It actually does have incest in it, and basically, yeah, consensual sex and incest has
Non-consensual
announced,
sex.
yeah, that it plans to remove the game entirely from Steam after the game attracted controversy online. Valve pulled the game from the United Kingdom version of Steam after the government officials slammed Valve for allowing No Mercy to be sold on its storefront. But should that be up to each individual country? Should that be up to each individual state? Should that be up to each individual, section, kind of like we do it by counties and by towns, sometimes by cities? Or should that be...
I think it should be up to the individual. If it's out there and they want to access it, let
as
them
long as it's not
access it.
hurting anyone.
Right. Like, what does it matter if it's on Steam? Is it gonna get in the hands of like a little kid? Maybe, but how did it get there? Someone had to pay for it. An adult had to pay for it to get there, right?
So
You
here's
would
the
think.
story. In the game, players discovered that their mother has cheated on their dad, and they are then told to claim her for yourself. This leads to multiple scenes involving the player forcing women, including the character's own mother, to have sex with them. The game's description on Steam includes this line: unveil her deepest secrets and subdue her and make all women yours. So yeah, it's basically playing into a rapist fantasy.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, it's nothing I would ever do. It's nothing I would
Right.
want anybody to do. I'm not going to say, hey, let's talk about this. And, everybody should definitely do it. But at the same time, again, it's in a digital setting. It's not hurting anyone. I see where people are upset about it. But again, what we really need to find the difference between artistic expression and going too far.
Okay,
And-
we're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
Sorry, that just fit. Like,
Yes.
I don't know why we
but-
get so mad about that stuff.
Yeah, No Mercy is labeled adults only and could be bought using a credit card. The game is not rated by the ESRB or PEGI, as Valve doesn't require games to be rated by these groups to be sold on Steam.
So
that
so
answers
they
your
don't
question.
even have to have ratings to get on Steam?
Nope, you can just literally make a game and throw it on there.
Ooh. Okay. I mean, there's got to be way worse games though. If it doesn't have to go through like that kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure there are. Just
Nobody's raising a stink about them.
Right.
or they're too busy playing them, and
So, but I remember there was that violent game Hatred, where all you did was play a suicidal and emo guy. The objective was murder as many people as possible in the most brutal ways possible. And they got
Oh.
that and pulled that up. Eventually, that
Is that on my end or is that his end?
that's his
Okay, good.
wait.
distros.
You cut out hardcore there.
Oh, I
It was
did?
Yeah, we were just getting bits and pieces of what you were just saying.
Oh, well, I was just saying that there was that game Hatred that came out. You just played this suicidal emo guy that you literally like your only intent, the only objective was to kill people in as many people as you can in as brutal ways as you can, and that was the whole game. And they got mad at that. This
Right.
is a lot
Yeah.
different than that. I can see where more people get mad at this than at Hatred. But
I'm sorry, that whole time though I was sitting there thinking, tonight the part of Cyclops is played by a robot.
we need
No,
like
and I mean
gender.
the same thing happened on with Agony when that game came out. It got the AO rating, and that was like on PlayStation. It got the AO rating, and on Steam, and so Sony pulled it, and then I think they pulled it from Steam and then re-released it as a mature version. But then on the PC version, you could also download a patch to re-implement everything that they pulled. And on top of that, the game just wasn't that fun.
Was that
I
Manhunt?
think-
Manhunt 2 did the same thing or something similar.
Yeah, I bought Agony on the PlayStation when it was on sale for like $5, and I even regret that. So
That's
no,
$5 you won't
okay.
get back.
yeah. So
But yeah, I remember Manhunt 2 when that one came out. Everyone was freaking out because that got the AO rating, and the first one didn't get the AO rating. And then they like blurred like the most violent deaths, but then they re-released it on PC, and you could go online and buy the AO version. And I think it was available on Steam for a while, but I don't know if it still is.
Well, I remember there was a game, and I don't remember what it came out at. Like they renamed it. It was initially an AO, but it was like Fahrenheit something, and it's done by the guy.
Yeah, I remember Fahrenheit. It was known as Indigo Prophecy in the States.
Yep, that's the one, Indigo Prophecy, and that initially had an AO rating as well. Which it's a fantastic game because he also did like Heavy Rain and
David Cage.
Yeah, David Cage. He did Heavy Rain, and what's the one with Elliot Page?
Oh, Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls, and then there was the other one that he did, Detroit. Become Human, which are all fantastic fucking games.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Indigo Prophecy, I remember playing that one back when I was younger, and I'm like, oh my god, they can get away with this shit like that, and that.
Well, I mean, any AO game is just kind of taboo, right? As soon as it gets the AO game label on it, just like movies, when you get an NC-17 rating, it's all of a sudden a taboo thing. It can't be released.
But here's the thing: what's worse, an NC-17 or a not rated at all?
True, same thing. Like it's
that's how they
as soon as it gets those labels, then it just changes into like a taboo thing where we can't have that, or we shouldn't watch that, or whatever the case may be. But it does do the opposite sometimes. Sometimes you're like, well, it's NC-17. Why is it that? Well, like now I want to know why. I want to go watch it or whatever.
Yeah, that girl from Saved by the Bell, that NC-17 movie Showgirls, kind of ruined her whole career. It's like everybody went to see it because they were like, "Oh, what is she doing now?" Oh,
oh, what? Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I used to watch that all the time.
Well, you watched it because they had her naked in it, but then at the same time, it was like, there's no story to this. There's absolutely nothing.
It was a low grade porno, pretty much. It's all that movie was. There was no fucking story to it.
I remember
she was just trying to get out of the, the Jessie, like, squeaky clean thing, and then you do that.
You can't go from "I'm so excited" to whatever that was. Yeah, I remember. She's kind of made a career comeback. She's been doing like some TV things, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna be where you could have been.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Screech, wasn't it? Like he kind of didn't do much, and then all of a sudden went to porno.
Speaking of him, so I on Hulu. Like, I've been going down the rabbit hole. Like, I started it with The Dark Side of the Ring. and it's like all about different wrestlers and their ups and downs and shit like that. And there's like a whole bunch of different Dark Side series on Hulu, and now I'm binge watching Dark Side of Comedy, and they did a whole episode about Dustin Diamond. And it's, if you haven't watched that show, it's pretty fantastic. I binged several today. I watched one about Robin Williams. I watched one about Phil Hartman.
What's the name of the show?
Dark Side of Comedy.
Dark Side of Comedy on Hulu. I will look
on
that
Hulu.
up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really good. So, their very first episode was about Chris Farley.
Mm-hmm.
And but then they do like some of the older comedians too. Like they have one about Andrew Dice Clay. They have one about Richard Pryor. They have one about
Hickory Dock.
So yeah. So I mean, it's a really good show, and but there's like a whole series of them. There's like the Dark Side of the '90s. There's the Dark Side of the 2000s. There's like all sorts of things, and it's a really fun. Yeah, it's a really fun rabbit hole to go down.
How many episodes are there?
There's 2 seasons of the Dark Side of Comedy.
Okay.
So,
and that wouldn't surprise me. I've heard like a lot of your biggest comedians are the ones that have gone through the most or have the most severe depression, and that's why they become so funny.
There's an excellent one. There's a comedian, I don't know if you know her, Maria Bamford, and it's all about her and her mental illness struggles and OCD and all of that. And there was actually a pretty good one on Roseanne about like her rise and fall and how she's now, the right-wing conspiracy nutcase and all of that. And yeah, it's a good series, The Dark Side of Comedy.
Which is really sad with her because, I mean, her show used to all be about inclusion and, bringing everybody together. And even though, like, she kind of put down men, a lot of times the men also got back at her. It's like she wasn't afraid to take the hit if it meant that that's where the laugh came from, or take the hit if that meant that's where the story came from.
Yeah, there was also a good one on there about Greg Giraldo. So it's
I will have to check that out.
I saw a documentary on Roseanne. Did you know that episode where Jackie got beat by her boyfriend was actually so controversial? ABC didn't want to air it.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's actually because Roseanne owned the rights to the show. She could literally take that show from ABC and shop it around if she wanted to. And I guess the executives told the showrunner, tell her we're not airing this. We do not want to do it. And he's like, she's not going to listen to me, but I'll tell her.
Right.
And he's like, hey, Roseanne, I got to tell you this just because I got to keep good on a promise. So they don't want you to do this. They really don't want it. They think it's like this. They think it could hurt the show. And she literally just looked at him and said, well, we're doing it. And he's like, all right.
Right.
Just kind of walk away.
Especially her, you would think, she would just, okay, whatever, we're doing it no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And then it became a groundbreaking show because it was like now sitcoms can attack series. Not that they hadn't before, but now they can attack these.
Yeah, but they always did it kind of sticky sweet by not showing or not like alluding to it, but not alluding to it type thing. Kind of like the 60s, how they always had to sleep in separate beds. They never slept in the same bed type shit. You're like, okay, well, how the fuck did you have a kid then? Those rules, were so old.
Or I remember Dick Van Dyke said that when he had his show on TV, that was when they first started putting it where there was a marital bed. But if the man and the woman were in the bedroom, the man had to be sitting on the bed and have his feet planted on the floor at all times.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the idea that they were doing something. I'm like, it's just a husband and wife laying together having a conversation. How is that?
And then along came Married with Children.
And blew everything up. I will always respect that show.
That show was I mean, to be fair, if you want to talk about shows being ahead of their time, All in the Family, that show was ahead of its time as well.
Mm-hmm. You can't really have
Archie Bunker and oh god, no. And they tried that today, they would cancel his ass in like 20 seconds. And jumping back to Dark Side of the Comedy, an episode I had today, they were talking about Sam Kinison, and they're like, you could not have him today. He would be cancel culture would be clutching their pearls faster than fucking anything.
Right.
So you know, and just like Mel Brooks, I don't think you'll have another Mel Brooks anymore. Like, you know, there's no way in hell Blazing Saddles would be released today.
Not a chance in hell.
No way in hell, you know.
Well, think about it. Rodney Dangerfield or Buddy Hackett. Could you really have in like comics like that? They were very much pushed forward the sexism, but they did it in a way that was like, it was like, oh, they're a product of their time. But a lot of times when they were in their movies too, the women or whoever they were being sexist against got their comeuppance, you know, so to speak. A lot of times, not every time, but they usually did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of darker things here, one of the last stories that I had here, unless you guys had anything else, was actually about this new ad for Xbox that it was actually done by David Fincher.
I heard about that. It's
So-
bizarre.
Is it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's David
I mean, it's
Fincher.
Fincher, so, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty much trying to say that existence is pain, but of course, look, it's the whole mouth. Of course, what do you call that? Where the animals are like humans.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the whole thing is existence is pain unless you have an Xbox. It's basically what
Yeah,
this
that
amounts to.
literally is the whole ad.
So are we all rats in a cage then?
Pretty much.
Or
Despite all the rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
right.
Okay, this looks like some sort of dark children's movie, you know? Almost like something Tim
I mean,
Burton
I'd
did.
watch it.
Yeah, I saw this, but
Yeah, so
I
this was,
don't
I just
know
thought it was really interesting, but
who this ad is for?
Yeah,
You
who
know,
are
like,
we targeting there?
like, you know, it's like, okay, cool. Now I'm gonna go home, play Xbox, and hey, I'm a human being. But
so yeah, because then he just turns into here. It's like, okay, I wonder if it's because we're all,
Pick up the
once you get into the
human
Xbox, you feel like you're
interesting.
free, but other than that, you're just a laboratory mouse, like Pinky in the Brain.
What are we gonna do tonight, Pinky?
Same thing
Right?
we do every night. Try to take over the world.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that ad is for. I mean, it's Fincher. I love it. I
I
love his
mean,
work. But
yeah, he's out there anyway.
He always has been. I mean, honestly, one of my favorite movies of all time, or two of my favorite movies of all time, were Seven and Fight Club. And you can't say that those aren't dark. I mean,
no, did he do? No, he didn't. I was gonna say, did he do Memento? But he didn't do Memento.
No, that
No.
is Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
That was his
No.
first one.
I loved Memento.
no, but he
Yeah.
did do Panic Room, which was with Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart before she couldn't move her face.
Yeah, when she actually had a range of acting.
Mhm.
You know what's weird too is another movie director that I absolutely love, David Lynch.
Mhm.
Oh man,
One of my absolute favorite movies, Lost Highway.
I was gonna say
It's
I
so
never got to see the actual movie. It was one of those ones that was so limited. Like I could
Dude.
never find it. I had the soundtrack. The
The
soundtrack.
soundtrack was phenomenal.
Yes, I always wanted to see the movie, and
I
Marilyn
highly
Manson
recommend
has
it.
a little role in it too, doesn't he?
If I
I'm
remember
pretty sure he
correctly.
has a cameo role in it. That was his first like acting thing, and that's why I wanted to see it. Plus, you know, Nine Inch Nails music and all that. But
And it's David Lynch. But yeah, if you can find another movie, I highly recommend. If you want to see one of the most bizarre movies ever with Reese Witherspoon, it's called Freeway.
Mhm.
That movie is fantastic, and it's Reese Witherspoon and one of the Sutherlands.
Donald
is in it
Sutherland.
as well. I want to say it's Donald, but or maybe Kiefer. It might be Kiefer, but it's basically a movie where she's got a poor home life condition, so she kind of prostitutes herself out, and the Sutherland guy kidnaps her, and she gets away, and then has to press charges and all that. It's really bizarre.
Wow.
And what
Oh,
first
okay.
drew me to it was actually that Danny Elfman did the music for it.
Mhm.
But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
Freeway Freeway is a great
When
movie. I don't
you
remember.
say that, it just reminds me of like Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Oh God, Falling Down, great movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny that you mention yeah, no, I forgot Reese Witherspoon, because when we were talking about Fight Club, you know, she was actually offered the role of Marla before it went to Helena Bonham Carter. It's because they wanted
weird.
They wanted a third big name to help try to sell the movie, and they wanted it to be a female big name to help draw the female crowd. So they actually offered her the role. It was the studio wanted her, but the director David Finch wanted Helena Bonham Carter, but the studio insisted to get it offered, and they actually offered it to her without even telling the director. So, but then once she got it, she read the script and she said, one, I don't understand this shit, and two, it's way too dark for something I'd be interested in, so I'll pass. So because she passed, they gave him the choice, and he went directly to Helena Bonham Carter, who said, hell yeah. And it was because she wanted to work with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton.
So it is Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer.
Yeah, and I just linked the IMDb there, but it's kind of like a twisted take on Little Red Riding Hood, but you know, and Sutherland is the big bad wolf essentially, and
Okay.
but it's a good movie. I highly recommend that one too. But
you know what's funny about that though is actually I did not put that there.
I did.
Okay.
But it comes up as you whenever we comment.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But I actually just saw one of Reese Witherspoon's earlier movies for the first time. It was called Fear with her and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And I was kind of watching it going like, okay, so I see where they were going, because they were, you know, pulling in Wahlberg, and they were pulling in, you know, what's her name from Who's the Boss and Charmed? I can't think of her name. Who plays the best friend? Yeah.
Ooh,
They're playing. I see where they were going for this, but I was like, this is a really good home invasion movie. At the same time, I don't know if I've ever seen Mark Wahlberg play a villain. I've seen him be a badass. I've seen him be a good guy doing bad things, but I've never seen him as a straight up villain.
Yeah, she had to be one of my crushes growing up, was Alyssa Milano.
I think she was everybody's crush growing up.
She did do a couple, like, I don't know what you want to call them, movies that she did show herself, and they were fantastic.
Now, they were fantastic, or that scene was fantastic?
I mean, yes, that scene was fantastic, because the stories, again, kind of like Showgirls, was just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody's watching this for the story.
Okay, yeah. See, I see that you put it in there, and then it also, I don't know, maybe because I created the room.
It spits it out like 3 different ways.
But
so it looks like YouTube, it goes in as garbage in, garbage out. Facebook, it goes in that way, and then Twitch, it goes out as you on the chat. So I guess it'd be better to show this one. Yeah, garbage in, garbage out.
So yeah, that was all the main stories I could think of, unless you guys had anything else.
No, it was kind of a slow week, I think, for news.
Yeah.
Besides everything we talked about.
Yeah, I do know. Oh, we should pay respect here. The guy, and I cannot think of his name. I'm looking up the article right now. The guy that played Dennis the Menace passed away.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we should pay respect to that. If I can pull that story up here. Wasn't that at the beginning of the week?
Yes.
I like that, maybe. This is how we honor people, by not remembering what their name is.
I mean, I saw the article. There was also somebody else wasn't there a couple baseball players that also passed away in the club that collapsed?
I think so. But yeah, here it is. Actor Jay North, dead at 73. Apparently, he had been battling colon cancer. He was Dennis in Dennis the Menace, but apparently he didn't like... he didn't watch a lot of the shows because apparently he was abused on set.
Oh.
from what I heard, it was his parents were working people, and his aunt and uncle took him to the set. And anytime, there was all kinds of kids on set, and he was just a child actor. And he would flub his line, or he would mess up, he'd miss his cue or something which happens all the time. That's why they redo several takes. And apparently he would go and his aunt would just like slap him across the face as hard as she could.
Oh, jeez.
So he didn't like watching the older episodes because that reminded him of that, but he never would tell other people don't talk about it because he knew that that's what they knew him for.
Right.
So, yep, his health had deteriorated over the past month. He was surrounded by family, his wife Cindy, and her daughters from a previous marriage, which we're told he adored when he passed. So, yeah, he was battling colon cancer. Let me see here. So, Jay North, and we'll do this. Controllers up.
I don't have my controller with me.
How dare you?
That's what I do.
But, yep, show respect here. So I'll do it here for everybody. Ryan. And, oh, you got the Spider-Man controller in there. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, I do.
I'll hold up
I
my
couldn't
drink
get the
cup.
face. I couldn't get the faceplate, but I got the controller.
I'll hold up my drink cup.
There you go. That'll work.
That works.
All right. And then, yeah, that was the last one. And then, yeah, there were some, we'll just say to all of the people who were affected by the building collapse. Yep. Again, controllers up for you as well.
Yep.
So, and for, I guess, Extra Life 15, as Koimiya is very blatantly showing us right now.
Oh no, I'm just stretching.
So yeah.
This was last. I think no, this was a couple of years ago. Sure. So.
All right.
Neo Death is yawning.
Yeah. Got
Was
up
that-
early. I said I was yawning. I got up early. I did a stream. Got off. Now we're doing this, and then I got a stream later tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to stream later tonight too. After the kids are in bed. And
Do you have a time? It helps if you have a time. Okay.
Not yet. I usually post before I go live on my Twitter.
Okay.
And
See,
then,
that's-
like I said, also that's a good reason why you should follow me, just to get the notifications. Being the random streamer that I am, it's easier if to just follow me.
That's actually how I was able to make affiliate on Twitch, was actually following a consecutive schedule. And I did that for like 3 months, and I made affiliate. And I pushed for partner, and I'm just like, I can't always guarantee 8:30 or 9:30 or 10.
See, I'm an affiliate on
trust
Twitch.
you. We know.
I'm an affiliate on Twitch, and then it's like I was telling Neodeath, I got the sub button today because Kick has changed their metrics, and now to get a sub button, you just have to stream for 5 hours.
I can do that in a day.
Right. So and so I've got the sub button now and all that.
And hopefully it doesn't keep showing my eye as disappearing here. As you can see in the background, like right through that. So,
Cyclops, do you have when are you going to be streaming next? Do you know?
I'm looking to stream tonight. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday.
Okay. And yes, I will be on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time to do World of Warcraft raiding.
Yeah,
I
mine
will
won't be until like 10 or 11 at night Central. So
Central. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, we're all Central time here. Well, except for Neodeath. He was like, "No,
Yeah.
I want to move to Ohio."
I didn't want to remove, but I had to for my work. So,
Well, I mean, technically,
now
you
Eastern.
had that other job you could have kept.
No, that was a crappy job compared to what I do now. No, thank you.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was
Right.
another warehouse, and I remember you said that you
It
went
was
there
foods. It
and-
was General Mills. I worked General Mills for 2 weeks, and then they said, "Hey, do you want to move out here?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. I don't want to do 12 hours. Thank you."
Yeah, and I heard
Makes
like
sense.
they weren't happy when you walked out.
No, they weren't, because I had just started, and they're like, and they literally said, "Well, there's no point in keeping you because you're not trained, so you can just leave now." I'm like, "Okay,
Cool, bye.
So, peace."
You're like, oh, that's so sad. When I quit a job, actually, I gave it my 2-week notice, and I had only been there about 3 months. But I gave him my 2-week notice, and my boss literally looked at me. He grabbed it, he ripped it up, and he was like, "If you don't want to be here, you don't have to. Just leave." And I was like, "Okay, and this is why I'm leaving. Bye."
Yeah. Peace. Don't threaten me with a good time.
It was I worked for a subsidiary of Dish Network. It wasn't Dish Network directly, but it was like one of their people one of those companies that they go off for, and I won't say the name of the company. But yeah, he got so mad at me, and of course I had actually called him out on a few things before. Going like, wait, I don't think that's legal, because he would be like, oh yeah, look at this, these are the rules you have to follow, and I was like, okay, are those anywhere in our book? No, but you have to follow these rules. I'm like, I don't think we have to. Right. And yeah, he was not happy with me. But then, of course, it was kind of funny. I got I got out of there. I went and got another job, and then I found out about 6 months later he was arrested for embezzling, like 3 weeks after I left.
Oh, that same company, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think last week you talked about that same company.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was arrested for embezzling, and then my direct manager was fired for sexting an underage employee. So it's like, who comes out looking like the good guy here? Because I just don't do asshole things.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Quamio, anything else that you have like to talk about besides that you're not excited about the Minecraft movie?
No, I'm good. Like I said, I'll see you all later, like tonight, 10 or 11, maybe even a little later.
All right.
Okay.
But
I will try and hop on if I can.
All right. Yep. And what game are you gonna be playing, Quamio? I forget.
I'm not quite sure yet.
That's another thing that helps is knowing what you're going to play.
Well, I'm trying to find some filler until next week when the Days Gone remaster drops, and then that obscure Clara
that was
Expedition
the one
33
game
comes out.
I played the original Days Gone. That was the one game that literally gave me a headache to play. I don't know what it was with the movement or whatever it was. So I literally had to cheat just so I could get through the story as fast as I could, because it would give me a headache if I played it for too long.
Yeah,
interesting.
And
that's the only game I've ever had that problem with.
For the next stream or two, I'll be finishing up Silent Hill 2 Remake, and then I will.
How far? I said, you almost there then?
I'm almost there. I'm. Let's see. I just got out of the labyrinth where you had to face against Pyramid Head for the second time.
Okay.
And
I understand. To do is another Doki Doki run.
Yeah, that's screwed with my head. But now I'm gonna expect it though, so who knows? Yeah. I'm not sure what I'll do next after that. I'm thinking either Assassin's Creed Shadows or, like I said, South of Midnight, like I was saying at the beginning, or I might do something much, much, much lighter, like Indiana Jones.
I was gonna say Indiana Jones is in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might just might have a chill stream and do some blueprints tonight.
If you pre-ordered the Indiana Jones, couldn't you play it right now?
Yeah.
You could if you did on. I'm going to download. I have mine actually downloaded through Game Pass. I just never played it.
Okay.
So I was thinking about doing that and just doing it for free.
I don't know. I was thinking about picking up the Pro version because it's got a whole bunch of enhancements for the Pro. I need to hop back into Assassin's Creed and see what the newest update is.
They did do on the update, they made it so that you can now, like, your mount will finally, if you set a waypoint, it'll follow that.
I saw that. I'm talking about the Pro enhancements.
Right, I understand that, but that is usually like a day one thing, and it wasn't there. And I was like, did we used to have this? I was like doubting myself. And then when I played it last time and it was there, I'm like, I knew it was missing that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, sounds like we're all going to be having a fun gaming week.
Yes.
For sure. I might even stream them again several more times. I know, right?
Be still my beating heart.
That's the sign right there. It's the end of the fucking world. So,
Okay, we're gonna miss you, Twitch, because he's on there all the time, which means you're probably going away.
not just
R.I.P.
Twitch. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Can't get away from him once he starts.
So streaming is now a thing of the past.
As soon as I saw that Beam can put out to pretty much every platform out there, I'm like, I'm going worldwide, baby.
So, all right. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us. It was a little bit earlier than normal, but we will be back to our normal time next week. And it sounds like the Looker and Dingy will be joining us from the DNL podcast. If you get a chance to, I know that they do their podcast on Monday nights. So definitely check them out on YouTube, Twitch, and every other platform that they're on. And we will see you all later.
Laters, losers.
Good night, everybody.